30 fascinating, and sometimes horrifying, human body facts. Ever wonder what is really going on inside you? The dark secrets within? Buckle up, because we're about to dive deep into the weird, wild, fascinating and, sometimes, slightly horrifying world of the human body. Get ready for some 30 mind-blowing facts that will make you see yourself in a whole new light. Disclaimer. Please note the disclaimer relating to this video. 1. Sleeping smart. Your brain is more active when you are sleeping than when you are watching television. Surprised? Brain imaging analyses have actually shown these associations. When you sleep, the brain is remarkably active, whether by dreaming, emotional processing, or memory consolidation, and this continues throughout the night, cycling between rapid eye movement, REM, sleep and non-REM sleep. Sweet dreams are made of complex processes. On the other hand, watching television is generally considered a passive activity that can lead to reduced cognitive function with excessive and prolonged viewing, such as 4 or more hours daily, although the brain also processes visual and auditory information while watching television. 2. Brain eater. Your brain is constantly eating itself. This process even has a name, phagocytosis, where brain cells called microglia and astrocytes engulf and consume other cells, or molecules in order to remove them from the system, such as neurons, or nerve cells, synapses, that is, connections between neurons, pathogens, and debris. But not to worry, this process is a natural and essential part of brain development and maintenance, helping to sculpt neural circuits, shape memory, stop infections, remove damaged cells, and clear waste. However, when the process of phagocytosis experiences imbalances, it becomes concerning. For instance, insufficient or too little phagocytosis during early development may lead to autism, while excessive or too much phagocytosis during adolescence may contribute to schizophrenia. Phagocytosis imbalances can also contribute to other neurodegenerative diseases, sleep disorders, and other conditions, such as possibly some aspects of obesity and aging. Extreme metabolic conditions, like running a marathon, or other situations when one becomes energy-starved, and glucose levels dip worryingly low, may also cause the brain to turn, or resort to cellular fat stores, and eat its fatty tissue, to maintain function. 3. Ear full. Your ears never stop getting longer, or as some would describe it, your ears never stop growing. Unlike your height and most of your body that stop growing after you hit puberty, your ears are constantly lengthening due to the effects of gravity, and the breakdown of collagen and elastin in the skin and cartilage. Due to these reasons, as we age, the ears change, and appear larger and droopier, although they are not actually growing in the way they did during childhood. 4. Face mite frenzy. You are not alone. Turns out, microscopic mites live on everyone's face. Yep, even yours. The mites are called demodex, or eyelash mites, face mites, or skin mites. They are tiny 8-legged parasites that mostly live in hair follicles and oil, or sweat glands on the pores of your face. Right now, they are feeding on dead skin cells, mating, and laying eggs on your face. Usually, they don't cause any problems, but too many of them, particularly in people who are immunocompromised, or have other skin conditions, can lead to an itchy, irritating condition called demodicosis. 5. Blink break. You blink about 15 to 20 times per minute on average while awake. That means simply because of blinking, you spend roughly 10% of your waking hours every day with your eyes closed or shut. Babies blink rarely, and significantly less than adults. Babies only blink 1 to 2 times per minute on average. Why do we even blink at all? Blinking, the rapid closing of the eyelid, is a largely unconscious reflex action that helps your eyes stay healthy by keeping them oxygenated, moist, and lubricated. It also cleanses the eye surface, clears out debris, and provides a brief mental break from visual input. 6. Olfactory overload. While your nose can remember 50,000 different scents, it is also capable of detecting and distinguishing among 1 trillion scents or combination of scents. That is a lot of smells. The human nose has throughout the nasal cavities about 400 different types of scent, or olfactory receptors, that is, the structures that enable humans to smell. Once activated, the olfactory receptors create an electrical signal that stimulate olfactory neurons, which transmit the signal to the brain, which in turn interprets it as a scent. 7. Saliva surplus. In their lifetime, the average person produces about 25,000 quarts, or liters, or 100,000 gallons of saliva. Enough to fill 2 swimming pools. In one day, a human can produce up to 1.5 liters of saliva, or spit. 8. Water works. You can survive weeks without food, but only days without water. Stay hydrated, folks. Generally, a person can survive for only about 3 days without water, although some individuals may potentially survive up to 7 days in some circumstances. However, with water only, but deprived of food, some estimates are that the survival time for the human body may extend potentially to between 1 to 3 months. In either case, the survival time of a person depends on factors like age, overall health, body fat, activity level, and environmental conditions. 9. Jaw Jolt. The strongest muscle in the human body is the masseter, or jaw muscle. Its powerful contractions when closing the jaw enables you to chew. Keep chewing, people. The masseter is a thick cheek muscle located near the back of your jaw, and it opens and closes your mouth when you chew. The remarkably powerful amount of absolute force, or strength it can produce, or exert to close the jaw, is the reason why it is generally considered the strongest muscle in the human body. 10. Tooth toughness. The enamel on your teeth is the hardest substance in your body, even harder than your bone, and certain metals like steel, gold, silver, and iron. So, support and brush your teeth enamel. Tooth enamel's unique structure accounts for its hard nature, as it contains the highest percentage, at 96%, of minerals like hydroxyapatite, which is a crystalline calcium phosphate, with water and organic material composing the rest. 11. Baby bones. Babies have more bones than adults. Babies start with around 275 to 300 bones, which fuse together as they grow, until adulthood, when bones then number around 206. Many of the bones present in an infant, particularly in the skull and limbs of the skeleton, are initially made of cartilage, which is softer and more flexible than bone, with some bones separate at birth. As a baby grows, the cartilage gradually ossifies, that is, turns to bones, while some bones also fuse together. 12. Bone strength. By weight, human bone is stronger than steel. Human bones are incredibly tough, and if both human bone and steel have the same weight, your bones are about 5 times stronger than steel, pound for pound, ounce for ounce. That is why you don't collapse into a puddle of goo. By size, however, a piece of steel of the same size as a piece of bone will be stronger, because it is denser and heavier. 13. Acid power. Your stomach acid is strong enough to corrode, or rust certain metals over time. Do not try it at home, or in your home. Your stomach's primary digestive, or gastric juice is hydrochloric acid, a highly corrosive chemical compound with a pH acidity value between 1 and 2, which makes it quite acidic, and it can damage very strong materials like certain metals, teeth, and bones. Eventually, it can even dissolve certain metals, but this takes a lot longer than the time food stays in the stomach. 14. Iron man, or woman. The human body has enough iron to make a 3-inch, or 7.5 centimeter long nail. Beware. Metal inside. But where is such iron found in the human body? Primarily, it is found in the blood as part of hemoglobin, where it is distributed throughout the body, and plays a vital role in transporting oxygen, producing energy, supporting the immune system, and yes, also contributing to finger and toenail health. 15. Vessel voyage. Your blood vessels, if laid end to end, would stretch about 60,000 miles, or 100,000 kilometers. That is more than twice around the Earth, since the planet's circumference is about 25,000 miles, or 40,000 kilometers. This includes the total length of arteries, capillaries, and veins that make up the blood vessels in the human body, that is, the tubular structures of a circulatory system that transport blood throughout the human body. 16. Heart pumping power. The human heart creates enough pressure to squirt blood potentially up to a distance of about 30 feet. This shows how powerful a human heart is. It beats with strong muscular force, and when an artery is ruptured, blood pressure may cause a projectile expulsion, or squirt of blood to occur. 17. Lung layout. Your left lung is smaller than your right lung to make room for your heart. The typically smaller left lung has a concave area called the cardiac notch, which creates space for, and accommodates the heart, in the left side of the chest cavity. The heart itself sits between your right and left lungs, and is located slightly to the left side of your body. 18. Lungs afloat. Our lungs are the only organs in the human body that can float on the water. This is because each of our lungs contain 300 million tiny air sac structures known as alveoli, which when filled with air, or aerated, make the lungs buoyant and able to float. Lungs are like sponges, and are not hollow like balloons. Our lungs will usually retain some air in the airways even when we exhale. 19. Air choke. Your body ordinarily prevents you from breathing and swallowing simultaneously. If you breathe and swallow at the same time, there is a high risk of aspiration, where food or liquid enters the airways of the lungs, potentially leading to coughing, choking, or even infection. The throat, or pharynx, is a common pathway utilized for both breathing and swallowing. When you swallow, the esophagus, or food pipe, is the tube that transports food from the throat, or pharynx, to the stomach. When you breathe, and inhale and exhale, the trachea, or windpipe, is the tube that carries air between the larynx, or voice box, and the lungs. The human body is designed in such a way that the trachea, or windpipe, is covered by a flap of cartilage called the epiglottis that folds down during swallowing, thereby diverting food and liquid into the esophagus, or food pipe. So when you swallow, respiratory pause, or swallow apnea, occurs such that your breathing is temporarily halted, which prevents food, or liquid from entering the airway, and causing choking or aspiration. 20. Fart balloon. You fart enough in one day, on average, to fill a party balloon. The average adult produces 0.5 to 1.5 liters of fart gas per day, which is roughly the volume of a full-sized balloon. The gas produced by the average person's farts could, therefore, potentially fill a balloon. Fart gas would, however, likely cause a balloon to drop, rather than rise, since the overall density of the gases composed in most people's farts may not be buoyant enough to float a balloon, as its density is typically close to that of air. Fart gas is mostly composed of a mixture of gases like nitrogen, hydrogen, carbon dioxide, and methane. Fart gas is generated as a byproduct of the digestive process when gut bacteria break down certain foods like fiber and carbohydrates. Helium, on the other hand, being much lighter, or less dense than air, is commonly used in balloons that rise and float, including hot air balloons, especially as it is non-flammable. 21. Height hike. You are taller in the morning than in the evening. Although this temporary change in height from morning to night is usually small, around 1 to 2 centimeters, or approximately 1/2 inch, it is still enough to be noticeable, and is called diurnal variation, that is, variation in various body systems that occurs in a 24 hours natural body cycle. Why does this happen? Gravity, and other activities, compresses, and squashes the soft cartilage between the bones in your spine throughout the day. Then, at night when you lie down to sleep, your spine decompresses and rehydrates, causing your body to spread, or stretch out, leading to, when you wake in the morning, a slight increase in height. 22. Human glow. Humans are bioluminescent, meaning we emit a very faint light that the naked eye cannot see, but which is visible to ultrasensitive cameras. The human body glimmers, or glows with light in extremely small quantities, at levels that rise and fall during the day, that is too weak for human eyes to detect. What causes this body glow phenomenon? Bioluminescence. Common with fireflies and aquatic organisms, it is a side effect resulting from normal biological metabolic processes within all creatures, or living organisms when cells are producing the energy needed to keep them alive. In humans, this metabolic process produces reactive oxygen species, ROS, or free radicals through cell respiration interacting with molecules like proteins and lipids, and chemicals called fluorophores, to emit photons of light, thereby making humans bioluminescent. 23. Skin length. Your skin is your largest organ. It covers the entire external surface of the human body, being an area of approximately 1.5 to 2 square meters in adults. The skin, or cutis, forms the outer boundary of the human organism, and plays a crucial role in protecting us from external factors in the outside world. It also regulates various bodily functions through its multitude of receptors and nerve endings with which it receives stimuli like touch, temperature, pain, and pressure. 24. Tickle Tease. You cannot tickle yourself. Your brain anticipates the sensation and cancels it out. Sad. When you try to tickle yourself, that is, self-produced stimulus, sensation is still produced, but it will never rival that of an identical external stimulus. So, what makes up a tickle? It is a combination of the mental preconception arising from the brain that a stimulus is going to be tickly, together with the physical, or tactile stimulation itself arising from skin receptors on the relevant part of the skin touched, or affected, and finally, the actual sensory response to, or outcome of the stimulation when you are in fact tickled. 25. Deadly Bumps. Dead people can get goosebumps. Yes. Goosebumps can also appear on a deceased person's skin. You know, those bumps that pop up automatically on the skin that resemble the skin of a goose when you experience intense, or sudden feelings of fear, shock, anger, excitement, or arousal. This phenomenon is known as postmortem piloerection, and occurs during rigor mortis in dead people, due to the stiffening of the erector pili muscles, which are attached to hair follicles in the skin, and are the same muscles responsible for goosebumps in living people. Basically, as dead human skin shrinks, and dead human muscles contract, or stiffen, they pull on hair follicles, causing hairs to stand on end, resulting in the appearance of goosebumps. 26. Skin shed shenanigans. We shed about 600,000 particles of skin every hour, or between 30,000 and 40,000 skin cells fall off every hour. Where do you think all that dust around you comes from? Part of it is you. Human dead skin cells are a component of, and contribute to, dust, especially in homes. Household dust is typically made up of between 20% to 50% of human dead skin cells. 27. Cell City. You have about 37 trillion cells in your body. That is 100 times the number of stars that fill the Milky Way galaxy, which is estimated at between 100 and 400 billion stars. The Milky Way galaxy is a barred spiral galaxy that, when observed from Earth, appears as a hazy band of light in the night sky, thus its Milky description. One of the hundreds of billions of stars contained in the Milky Way galaxy is the Earth's Sun, or solar system. The trillion of cells in the human body are diverse, and specialized tissues and organs that work together to sustain life, and are responsible for the body's structure, function, and reproduction, and include red blood cells, white blood cells, muscle cells, nerve cells, epithelial cells, and stem cells. 28. Bacteria galore. You contain trillions of bacteria, roughly 38 trillion bacteria. In fact, bacterial cells outnumber human cells, which are about 37 trillion in number. You have bacteria on each of your hands, typically between 10,000 and 10 million, and as many as 80 million bacteria are transferred during a 10-second kiss. Bacteria, together with viruses, fungi, and other microorganisms, make up about 100 trillion microbes living in and on the body, making the human microbiome a complex ecosystem within the body. Most bacteria don't harm you at all, and in fact, they help you digest food, protect against infection, and even maintain your reproductive health. 29. Ancient viral DNA. Approximately 8% of our DNA, or genetic material, comes from viruses, that is, remnants of ancient viral DNA from our primate ancestors who were infected millions of years ago. Your DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is basically an instruction manual, or a blueprint, for building and maintaining an organism. This human genome is a molecule, with a double helix structure that coil around each other, and carries the genetic instructions, and hereditary information for the development, functioning, growth, and reproduction of all living organisms and many viruses. While these ancient viral sequences are generally not infectious, they are still present in our DNA, and can sometimes be active, or expressed, potentially playing a role in present times, in human health and disease. 30. Spare parts. You carry some spare parts within you. The human body consists of some organs in a singular count, that is, only one, and also some in pairs, that is, there are two of them. Paired organs include kidneys, lungs, eyes, ears, and adrenal, or hormonal glands. For organs that are present in pairs, you are usually able to survive on only one of them. Despite this, ensure you take good care of both of your paired organs. You never know when you may need your spares. Your perspective. So there you have it. 30 fascinating, and sometimes horrifying facts about the human body. Hopefully, you learned something new and are not too creeped out. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and family so they can be amazed and disturbed too. Also, drop in the comments section any other fascinating, horrifying, amazing, weird, and disturbing facts about the human body that you know. Toray Perspectives. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, or give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. Do comment below, turn on the notification bell, and share this video.